Hey, what's up, guys? You're here with Kirk, Goran, and Jack, our newest addition to the PickDawgz soccer videos here. Jack, I'll get to you in a moment. I just want to say, guys, that we have a very busy weekend ahead of us, especially Saturday, and you can get a lot of free picks up on the PickDawgz YouTube channel. We have a few videos in separate form. Those are the big games that we have on the schedule, and the rest of the free picks you can find in this video. And I believe we have like 16 games or something like that, and that's a lot of free picks. And with the addition of Jack, that's another different perspective, and another free pick for you guys as well. Now, Jack, welcome and thank you for joining us here. Why don't you tell us a few words about yourself?
Yeah, so as you could tell straight away from the accent, from England, born and bred out of London, North London. So I'm a Tottenham fan, have been since probably about 3 or 4 years old because my mother and father are dragging me to Arsenal or Tottenham. I think I made the right choice, albeit maybe not the right choice for trophies, but I hope we get there one day in my lifetime.
Yeah, we don't judge here, so you're fine, even though you're Tottenham fan. But let's get this show on the road, guys. We have a lot of games to talk about. Kirk, Brentford, and West Ham is a matchup in the EPL on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Brentford plus 122 favorite, but they haven't been scoring a lot this season. What are your thoughts about this one?
Yeah, neither of these teams have been scoring a lot, but they've both been conceding a lot. 1.8 goals conceded for both teams per game. Both of these last two games, both teams have scored and gone over 2.5. And I just see it happening again. I think this is where both teams can find goals. So I'm going with both teams to score an over 2.5 at minus 120.
Now, Jack, I'm looking at the injury report for Brentford, and they're missing like 6 or 7 players, and Visa included as well. I mean, a lot of those players would be in the starting lineup for this game, but West Ham is coming off of an ass whooping against Liverpool 5-1. They lost in the Carabao Cup earlier this week. Do you think they can snap out and do something in this game?
Yeah, I do. I've got Brentford on the money line. The reason for it is because despite the injuries, they have still played pretty well. Like, fresh off my memory, Brentford played against Spurs last weekend, and it was a very rare game where Brentford or Tottenham did not dominate possession. Brentford had the most possession. They had good chances. They scored within the first minute, but Tottenham managed to just break them, grind them down. Um, West Ham, on the flip side, they just haven't been and come out of the traps so far this season. A devastating loss in their derby against Chelsea last weekend without scoring a goal. They're really struggling in front of goal as well, and they're struggling to keep the ball out of their own net as well. So, yeah, I'm just happy to take Brentford on the money line here. If you want the extra juice, take Burmo to grab a goal if you really want an extra pick.
Yeah, I will also take Brentford on the money line here, guys. I will keep it simple. There's nothing else to say. Jack said it all. He is from England. He definitely knows EPL. If we need some additional information, we know who to ask now. But yeah, we do both agree about Brentford on the money line. Can West Ham get on the scoreboard? I could definitely see it because Brentford has conceded at least a goal in each of their last home games. So I could see that happening as well, and all of our free picks could hit in this one. Now, the next one we have Everton and we have Crystal Palace. Everton, I mean, according to the books, it's a fairly even matchup, plus 172 to plus 162 on Crystal Palace. Uh, what do you think about this one, Jack?
Yeah, I think neither team, apart from maybe 1 or 2 games for Everton, they really just haven't been able to find the back of the net with the football. I think Palace, losing a key striker in the summer, has costed them dearly going forward. You've got Mateta, who is come back from the World Cup, but they're really leaning on Eze. And Eze, I honestly don't think his mind is with Palace anymore. He tried to get a move away in the summer. His probably eyes are now set on a move in January, and his performances kind of show it. He hasn't scored. He hasn't really done much for Palace, and it's probably not just on him. They just haven't been that creative in front of goal. And I think you could say the same for Everton. Everton are looking like they're just ready to go down. I think Sean Dyche, their manager, is literally waiting for the call from the chairman to get the sack. So give me the under 2.5 here. I just don't see a world where these two teams can combine to score 3 or more.
What do you think about this one, Kirk? We know that Everton definitely capable of scoring goals. They have been doing it this season. They just can't hold on to that lead, and they consistently drop points against everyone. But who do you pick in this one? What is your pick?
Yeah, my pick in this one, neither of these teams has won a game all season, but I'm going with Crystal Palace to pick up their first win here of the season. Everton, they've conceded 14 times. Palace have conceded half of that. Palace hasn't looked that bad defensively, and I don't really see this one being high scoring either, but I think Palace gets it done as Everton. They're just in shambles, and we're getting a pretty good price. Give me Palace on the money line at plus 165.
I'm gonna take the draw in this one personally, guys. I think it could be a tight game. I don't think we can rely on anyone right now, especially on Everton, whether they play at home or on the road. And Crystal Palace has 3 draws in their last 4 games, so I'm gonna give it a shot at the draw at plus 230. Looks like Kirk, you and I are going against each other in this one, but we'll see how this one's gonna turn out, guys. Once again, you have 3 picks at your disposal, so make a decision and. Pick what you like best. Now, Nottingham Forest and Fulham is the next matchup. Kirk, Fulham plus 200 underdogs. Nottingham Forest has actually been playing quite well lately. They're creating a decent amount of chances, undefeated in their last 3 games while losing one of their last 6. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, Nottingham actually hasn't lost a game all season, 2 wins and 3 draws, so they've been pretty good. But they've scored and conceded in 3 of their last 4 games. Fulham have scored and conceded in all of their last 4 games. I'm keeping this one really simple. I'm going with both teams to score here, as I think both teams will score, and it's a decent price. I'm getting it at minus 134. That's where I'm going here.
Yeah, and since I know your pick, Jack, I would assume that you agree with everything that Kirk just said.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he pretty much covered all bases there. I think, yeah, both teams finding the net consistently. I don't think Fulham are going to have a problem. Nottingham Forest playing okay at home. Again, they haven't lost, but I wouldn't say it's a home stadium where you're worried as an away team. It's not a hostile environment. I don't think Fulham are going to find any problems. They're going to be confident scoring 3 against Newcastle just a week ago. So yeah, give me both teams to score as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna push this one even a little bit further, guys. I'm gonna take the over 2.5 in this one. It's minus 102. I simply had to take it. Defensively, both teams have their problems, and I think it's gonna be a very open game where both teams will try to do something in this game and get points out of it. So I see goals, and I think that all 3 of us are in agreement about this one. Now, the last game in the EPL that we are gonna talk about is between Wolverhampton and Liverpool. Liverpool minus 270 favorites. They definitely should be because Wolves have been anything but consistent this season. They are on a 3 game losing streak. They've conceded 8 goals in those 3 games. They just don't look well that on that defensive end, Jack. And even though Liverpool is playing next week in the Champions League against Bologna, I think that they go all out in this one.
100%, and it's because they have the depth, kind of similar to what City have going forward. They've got so many forwards: Nunez, Jota, Diaz, Salah, you name it, right? So it's not like they need to rest key players because they can just throw out anyone. For my pick, I'm going with Luis Diaz to score. He's scored 5 goals in 5, and he's up against Wolves, who, like you said, aren't a good team so far this season. They've always leaked goals, always have, always will. So yeah, take this pick. You're gonna have to wait for the lineups to come out. You don't want to really be taking this pick if Diaz is not starting. So wait till those starting lineups come out, and if he is in the starting lineup, take him to score. I think this is a profitable play if you run this 100, 1,000 times.
What are your thoughts about this one, Kirk?
Yeah, I'm keeping this one simple too. Liverpool have only conceded once all season, and I don't think they allow a goal in this one. I'm going with both teams to score equals no at plus 120. I've pretty much been on this pick every game all season, and it's been paying me really well. Wolves are terrible, terrible defensively. So I think Liverpool is just going to roll probably 3-4-0. I would expect the Liverpool win here.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I'm gonna take Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals, minus 133. I'm actually surprised that we're getting such a great price for it. Even if Wolverhampton doesn't score a goal, Liverpool should score comfortably at least 3 goals in this game. They've scored at least three in each of their last 3 games. They've demolished West Ham 5-1 in the Carabao Cup earlier this week. And Wolves just not a good defensive team. So I'm gonna take Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals at minus 133. Now, guys, that we are done with the EPL, we are going into La Liga. The first game is between Getafe and Alaves. That's another game on Saturday. I'm not sure what we can expect from this one. Doesn't look exciting. Doesn't sound exciting. And the only thing that could give this matchup some life is the fact that Alaves has actually been playing pretty well this season, and they have been scoring goals both at home and on the road. But Kirk, in the head-to-head matchups, we've seen a lot of draws. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, no, I think I'm a big under guy, and the over under here is 1.5. And we're getting a pretty decent price for over 1.5 here. I'm going with over 1.5 at minus 152. Alaves has scored 11 goals, but also conceded 10. So I think this just 1.5 line is just really should be at 2.25 if I'm being honest here.
How about you, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare you get a team who's playing as well as Alaves early on in a season. They're not going to be able to keep it up for the majority of the season, you were to guess. But for right now, I'm taking everything that is showing in their form right now. So I'm willing to take Alaves as the underdog here at plus 220. Like you said, they played very well against Madrid. Didn't win the game, but not many teams go away to the Bernabeu and score 2 goals, right? So yeah, give me Alaves to take this. Not saying it's going to win every single time, 10 out of 10. But again, I think this plays very profitable at plus 220. You may even get it those odds extended closer to kickoff. But yeah, for what it is right now, I'm still taking it.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well right now, and they certainly will not be able to keep it up for the rest of the season. But more points they win now, easier it's going to be for them to stay in the league, maybe get to the top 10 or something like that. I think this game is going to start slow, so I'm going to take first half draw at minus 125. I think that if we see goals, it's going to happen probably after 55th or 60th minute in this game. And honestly, Alaves at plus 220 on the money line. I could definitely see that happening as well. Now, the next matchup, guys, that we have is between Sociedad and Valencia. You know what? Sociedad is not scoring a lot this season, barely any goals. They haven't won any of their last 5 games. Valencia undefeated in their last two. However, they are coming off of another nil-nil draw against Osasuna. Kirk, to me, honestly, this game smells like a draw.
Yeah, honestly, Sociedad, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what happened in that offseason. They still have some good players, but they've only scored once in their last 5 games. That's just really tough for me to back a team that has scored once in their last 5 games. I'm going with the Valencia on the double chance as they've actually gotten points out of their last 2 games, not in last place anymore. And that's only at minus 120. That's my play here.
Yeah, you know what? Valencia hasn't scored a lot on the road as well. Only 1 goal so far this season. They've conceded 7. But if I'm being honest, Jack, this game, if there is a game on the slate on Saturday that looks like a draw, specifically a nil-nil draw, in my opinion, this is going to be the one.
Absolutely, yeah. As Kirk said, Valencia just not scoring, and you're getting a pretty good price with all the factors considered. You know, Sociedad also just very slow going forward, very boring. They don't play super attacking football as a neutral. It's not nice to watch. So, you know, for minus 200, yeah, you know, it's not the biggest price in the world, but I think under 2.5 here is so free. It should be so free.
Now we are moving off to the Italian Serie A, guys. We have Genoa and Juventus facing off, and Juventus is in a bit of a slump. They had a few draws, few goalless draws, that is. They had 3 nil-nil draws, one against Roma, Empoli, and Napoli, but they are still a much better team than Genoa is, who is without a win in their last 4 games. And the fact is that Juventus has to get back on the winning track. They are playing in the Champions League next week against Leipzig on the road. They will definitely need everything they can get. to get a positive result out of that game. But Jack, what do you think about this one? We are getting Juventus at minus 139. Are we taking that?
100%. Take it every day of the week and twice on Saturdays. It is just a pick or a play that you're not able to make too much. And I think I wouldn't say good problem because it's never nice to have a problem, but at least your problem is going forward rather than defense, right? They've not conceded a goal this season in the LaLiga, in the Serie A. So, that's an okay problem to have. And if they can put the ball in the back of the net against a not great side, a side that they're much better than, well, then they're going to win the game, right? So, yeah, give me the money line, give me the Juve money line, 1 unit, 2 unit, you name it.
Yeah, I will also be taking Juventus on the money line in this one. But Kirk, they have been struggling a little bit in the attacking end, but I think they have to step it up here. Do you agree?
Yeah, this is the game where you really need to step back on the gas and really get it done. I do agree with you guys. Juventus is going to win, but I'm looking here at some plus value. I'm looking here at Juventus 5+ shots on target. This should be a little bit higher, in my opinion, whether it's 6 or 7. As this Genoa team, they've conceded in their last 4 games. And Juve, they haven't had the problems at the back. They've had the problems finishing. So if they're going to be clinical or not, doesn't matter if they get it on target. So 5+ shots should be pretty doable.
Now, moving on to the next game, guys, we have Bologna and Atalanta facing off. Bologna playing in the Champions League next week. I think Atalanta is playing in the Champions League as well. This could potentially be an interesting game because Atalanta surprisingly lost to Como at home 3-2 earlier this week. They still have a few injuries, but so does Bologna. Now, Kirk, uh, like I said, Bologna playing against Liverpool, Atalanta playing against Shakhtar. What does that mean for this game?
That means there's going to be a lot of goals, even if there weren't going to be goals beforehand, if they didn't have Champions League games, whatever games they have during the week. I think Atalanta is one of the toughest teams to read in all of Europe right now. They win the games they shouldn't, and they lose the games that they should win. But they're giving up a lot of goals. They also can score like that. So I'm going with both teams to score in this one at minus 138.
Yeah, I'm taking the same pick here, Kirk. You literally said everything what I was thinking about. Both teams to score. I'm getting it minus 143. For once, you have better odds than I do, but I think we'll correct that somewhere down the line. Jack, I know that you have over 2.5 in this one, so I think that you agree with us that both of these teams have defensive problems, but can definitely score goals.
Yeah, 100%. And, if you want the extra juice, just throw both of our free plays together, right? Both teams are scoring over 2.5. Atalanta 5-0 with the over 2.5 this season in obviously their 5 games. Bologna 3-2. So three of the 5 games have gone over 2.5 as well. And if you're looking at the odds, I'm getting minus 110. That's pretty much near enough a coin flip. So if you're considering those factors and it's a coin flip for this one, I'm taking the overside of the coin.
Now we are moving on to Bundesliga, guys. The matchup we have is between Mainz and Heidenheim. And if I'm being honest, as soon as I saw this game, I decided to take the over 2.5. I'm getting it at minus 139. Kirk, you're a huge Bundesliga fan. I know that you like Heidenheim as well. They were one of the top teams, but now they are on a 2-game losing streak, and they've conceded 7 goals in those 2 games.
Yeah, none of that matters here. Heidenheim's going to win plus 320. They won in Mainz last season, and they just have a lot of good players. I think they're going to finish top 6. Mainz, they were bottom half of the table. They were fighting off relegation last season. This is the get-right spot for Heidenheim. Getting them at plus 320 and Mainz being a favorite is absolutely crazy to me. I'd be shocked here if I'm wrong.
Taking a double chance would be a smarter choice, just to put it out there, guys, because you're covering yourself in 2 out of possible 3 outcomes. But Jack, if I'm not mistaken, you expect goals in this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, at least 2, and I think each team's going to score 1. So give me both teams to score. I think both teams have proven so far this season they're very leaky in defence. They give up chances. There are a few mistakes here and there consistently in both defences, which usually lead to goals. So give me the both teams to score. And yeah, I agree completely with Kirk as well. Heidenheim could pull this one out of the bag. And again, Mainz could score as well. So if you want that extra juice, combine the picks together, and you have yourself a nice cheeky little parlay.
Now, Leipzig and Augsburg. Jack, Leipzig minus 227 favorite at home against Augsburg, who's actually been doing quite well. But the problem for them is the fact that they're playing a lot better at home than they are playing on the road. But what could potentially go their way is the fact that Leipzig is playing against Juventus in the Champions League next week.
Yeah, I mean it's always weird when it comes to the early stages of the Champions League. You don't want to give up points early on, especially with the new format of the Champions League as well. So it's really hard to judge how teams are going to really play around it. For me, I'm taking the under 3.5. Whilst we've got the good price, I'm getting it for minus 149. Which I think in this spot is pretty good. Leipzig are defending well. They're prioritizing defense over offense, which has proven well for them so far this season. And Leipzig as well have only scored 6 goals or put 6 goals in either net in the last 4 games. So, 6 goals in your own net or in the opponent's net. It's a great price for under 3.5 here.
What are your thoughts about this one, Kirk?
Yeah, Leipzig has not conceded at home all season in their 3 home games or 2 home games. Sorry, they didn't concede in their last game against Pauli. But this Leipzig team, they're going to start scoring at some point. And with the price here, you got to take them in the first half on the money line. Augsburg's conceded 10 times in 4 games. I'm going with Leipzig on the first half money line here.
I'm gonna go with both teams to score an over 2.5 in this one. I know that you guys both said that Leipzig has been quite solid defensively, especially at home, but I think that Augsburg will try and step it up here. I think they've been quite solid when it comes to scoring goals, and I think that they will get at least one in this game. So I'm getting it at a great price. It's minus 118. I honestly just love the pick, and I will go with both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at minus 118. Now, we are moving on to the next pick, guys. Wolfsburg versus Stuttgart. An interesting matchup. I'm a bit surprised that Stuttgart is not bigger favorites in this game. They're getting it plus 118 on the money line. But that could also be because of the fact that they are playing in the Champions League next week and they're playing against Sparta Prague at home, which is definitely a very much winnable game for them, Kirk.
Yeah, as you said it, I mean, Stuttgart, they're coming off that 5-1 win. They do have a Champions League game upcoming, but they honestly could have beat Real Madrid in that Champions League game. They're one of the best teams, I'd say, or one of the most underrated teams if you don't really watch the Bundesliga. They can make a lot of noise in this season's Champions League. And getting this price with Stuttgart, it kind of seems free to me. I have to take Stuttgart on the money line as I don't trust Wolfsburg at all.
Now, it looks like we're going to be going against each other here, Kirk. I'm going to take Wolfsburg on the double chance at minus 139. I know that they have a lot of injuries, but so does Stuttgart. They have like 4 or 5 missing players. And I think that playing in the Champions League next week is going to be a little bit more important to them than this game against Wolfsburg on the road. How about you, Jack? What do you like in this game?
Yeah, I think it is a game where Wolfsburg can just pull a draw out of the bag, right? If they hit the ground running in the game. For me, I'm leaning on Stuttgart to score over 1.5 goals. So that's team goals. They're just finding the net considerably and consistently this season, and I think they're gonna probably take advantage of the fact that Wolfsburg have not been great with their early struggles. So, yeah, I'm taking the plus the over 1.5 Stuttgart team goals for a minus 133.
Now that we're done with Bundesliga, guys, we are moving on to the French League One, and we have an interesting matchup between Lens and Nice on the schedule. That's on Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Lens now on a 3-game draw streak. They haven't won any of their last 4, but Nice has been quite solid. They got a 1-1 draw against Real Sociedad in the Europa League. Before that, they were able to beat Saint-Etienne 8-0. But I don't know, this game just it looks like it could be a little bit of a boring game, and it could end in the draw, Jack.
Yeah, it could. At the same time, both teams play very aggressive attacking football. And Lens have also found the net in every single game. So, yeah, I'm going both teams to score. I think both teams don't have good enough defense to stop the opposing attack. So, yeah, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Give me both teams to score with the current price.
How about you, Kirk? What are your thoughts about this one? You're muted.
Oh, sorry. This Nice team is interesting. They're coming off a 1-1 draw, 8-0 win, and 2-0 loss. But something that's consistent here is Lens. They haven't conceded at home this season. Only 2 goals conceded all season. I'm going with under 2.5 here at -126.
I'm gonna take the draw in this one, guys. Like I said, I think it could potentially be a bit of a boring game here, but I think we all agree 1-1 is the perfect score for all of us in this game. Hopefully we get that one, but we'll see. Now for our last game, guys, we do have Monaco and Montpellier facing off. Monaco -278 favorites. They seem to have gotten in the habit of winning games, especially after they've beaten Barcelona 2-1. But even before that, they were quite solid. They were scoring a decent amount of goals, and Montpellier finally snapped their losing streak by beating Auxerre 3-2 in their last game. Jack, I'm not sure how closely you follow French League One, but what are your thoughts about this one?
I don't follow it like religiously. I definitely keep up to date. I watch where I can. Um, but there are other leagues that I choose to watch over Liga. So take this with a pinch of salt. One thing I have seen and I have liked this season is Monaco. They're really pushing PSG as hard as they can, if anyone can this season. And they're finding the back of the net very consistently. Montpellier are giving up 3 goals a game so far this season on average. So for me, I'm happy to take Monaco over 2.5 team goals with the plus money at +107.
Yeah, Monaco has been quite dominant in this matchup, Kirk. But I think once again that because of the fact that they're playing in the Champions League next week and they're playing against Dinamo Zagreb on the road, not a hard opponent, not an easy opponent either. But I think that they will kind of might be thinking ahead about that game already, and that could potentially leave them a little bit open for Montpellier to do something. So I'm gonna go with both teams to score. What about you, Kirk?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the under 3.5 in this one. This is one of the games where I think the line should be a little bit lower. As Montpellier, they've been conceding a lot, but they haven't been scoring too much. As Monaco's only conceded twice all season, Montpellier's only put in 5 goals. I'm going with the under 3.5 at -138.
We'll see how this one's gonna end up, guys. But not all of us, well, potentially all of us could hit our picks if we get what Monaco to win 2-1. Well, no, then I'm sorry, Jack, you're out for
No,
this
then
one.
I lose. Yeah.
But
If it's 3-0, me and Kirk win. If
yeah,
it's 1-1, or no, it has to be. No, I don't think you and Kirk could win at all, can they?
well, I guess we'll see how this one's
No,
gonna
it can
end
be
up.
2.
But
Could be 2-1, right? So yeah.
should definitely be a fun game. It's the last game of the day on the schedule in the French League One, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and this is the last game of our video, guys. Thank you for joining us here. We hope you have a great day, of course. We gave out a lot of free picks. There are more videos up on the PickDawgz YouTube channel, so check it out, guys. Subscribe and of course hit that like button, and we'll see you soon with more free winners.